What is up, YouTube? Welcome into Attacking Third, our UEFA Women's Euros coverage 2025. We're coming hot off of the England and Italy game. I'm your host, Darian Jenkins, joined by legends in the game, U.S. Women's National Team, NWSL, Kelley O'Hara, and Lindsey, now narrating my dreams, because anytime you have football on, Lindsey is going to be talking about it. Ladies, welcome in. Before we deep dive into this match, Lori, was that a penalty?
That was not a penalty, in my opinion. I'm so bummed. I mean, good on England. They continue to fight. We've seen that throughout the tournament. Had to weather a ton of storms, but I feel for Italy in this moment. And mainly because, listen, it's not that we haven't seen that called before, but I do think it was soft. And I also just think it's the timing of when that happened. And also just the way that the game had been ref. She let so much go. She's having conversations, especially early on, to allow some of the physicality to happen. And to me, Beth Mead's not getting to that ball. Both of those players are just like trying to establish position. And I think that is a tough and just heartbreaking way for Italy to go out. And then for Giuliani to actually make the save and then Chloe Kelly getting the putback. So I'm like, goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm feeling for them.
Kel, you think it was a pen?
I couldn't agree more. I cannot believe that got called. Because, it's like, okay, you could call it and it was a tussle, right? Like you couldn't really tell in the live moment, okay, was this a foul, was this not? Who was pulling who? Go check it. Like at least go look. She didn't even go check it. And to be this late in the game and like Lori said, not calling a lot, letting them play. Mead's not close to the ball. It's like that's how this Italy side is gonna go out. Like, man, I picked England to win the whole thing, and I was cheering for Italy by the end of this game in this tournament because I've loved the way they've been playing. So I was devastated for them that's the way that their tournament ends. Terrible.
I know, me too. I think Italy and Switzerland are the two teams that kind of garnered everybody's hearts throughout this tournament. You saw them both grow. You wanted them to knock out the big dogs. Even though I think I also had England winning this whole thing. I was like, I wanted the passion, the growth of Italian women's soccer to get it. But I still think this is a win for Italy. In a way, I think long-term, it's going to be massive for them. But could also be a win for us is y'all need to go up and vote because your girls are nominated for the best female hosted podcast once again, and we need your help to reach the finals. So go register to vote, www.podcastawards.com/app/signup. And once you do, select the drop-down menu for best female hosted podcast and pick Attacking Third. It's really quick. Remember, tell your grandma, tell your grandma's best friend, sisters, cousin, whatever. Tell everybody, go up and vote for your girls because we absolutely deserve it. Okay, let's get back to this match because the starting lineups were interesting to me. There were some changes on both sides, but the biggest one looking at England was Jess Carter coming out and Esme Morgan getting her first start of the tournament. Were either of you surprised that that was the change that was made coming into this match against Italy?
I'll start. Yes and no, because I would have imagined, given everything that had been happening, and first of all, let's just state like the amount of abuse, racial abuse that footballers are experiencing is just freaking horrendous. It is disgusting. Good on Jess Carter and England. Lots of love to Jess, but like she shouldn't be having to come out and make these statements, right, and take a stand. That should be dealt with already. This shouldn't be happening, and it's horrendous. But I was thinking that we had a lot of conversations because of just knowing and hearing about how Sarina Wiegman has approached with her team and the relationship she has. I was thinking that this would have been a conversation between Sarina and Jess just to see where she was mentally, and then also. So that was kind of my initial thinking. So I could have seen it go either way. Yep. Jess is like, all right, I'm ready or not. Right. And I totally respect that. But then to see Esme Morgan and her coming on and finishing the previous game against Sweden the way she did, also not surprising either. So for me, it was just like either way, I could have seen it. We could have seen it gone.
Yeah.
They're looking over. Sorry, go ahead, Kel.
No. I just was going to say exactly what Lori said. So yeah, yes and no. And again, we obviously know publicly what Jess has said and what is going on. And I can't even imagine what she's dealing with behind closed doors. So yeah, I think that it was probably, who knows if it was a decision that was made between Serena and her, or what went down, but we're all thinking about her and, sending her love.
Yeah, I think it was the best decision. And Esme Morgan has been great in this tournament. I think we've seen her grow in confidence. I think we're seeing chemistry build between her and the back line, which there's a lot of question marks in the last game about. But going into this match, Italy, we were talking about it as we were all watching, in the spiritual 5-3-2 that they were playing in. Kel, I know you didn't want to see them in a 5-back, but effective or not?
No, so that was the thing in the first half. I was like, man, I understand why they're playing this 5-3-2. The two are kind of shadowing Walsh, not letting her get on the ball centrally, not letting them play through the middle of the field. And I get that, but I feel like their 4-3-3 high press against Norway was so effective. And I loved watching that. And I felt like that gave Italy a lot of confidence in that game and was able to help them win that game. So my thought was like, being a little bit more conservative with the 5-3-2, I was concerned that they were not going to be as aggressive, as confident, as on their front foot. But the reality is, and shout out to their coach, like he has set up his team perfectly in every single game they've gone into. And this 5-3-2 was extremely effective against England.
Yeah, this is what I like about this Italian team. And I was expecting some sort of run like this. And I only say that not like, oh, okay, I'm like high on like Italy, know all their tactics leading into this tournament. But just given their trajectory of their professional league, the run that they've had prior, and then going fully professional in 2022, I was expecting some sort of run like this. But one of the things I've really appreciated throughout this tournament is their tactical flexibility. We've seen them go from a 5-back to a 4-back. I actually thought, I completely agree with what you're saying against Norway, Kel, but I actually wasn't surprised they went to the 5-back, just given that England had different threats than Norway. There was no real like pacemaker with Norway on the front line. Hegerberg is not going to beat anybody in behind, so they could take more risks. Whereas I think they really had to be mindful of Russo and her ability to stretch, and also just keep her limited, because then that was going to limit the impact of the other players in the wide areas if they keep Russo quiet, because she's not going to be able to bring other players into the game. But I agree. I mean, it's a little bit of like, if you risk something, you're also going to take something away, because you're going to have too many players back. But really, I thought they got the game plan right until that second half. I think it was just felt like they were defending too much. And we've all been in those situations when you're defending like that. It is just a matter of time. And then to switch and have to change that mentality once a team does score and tie, that's an even bigger shift than to then start to, especially when you made subs, right, to try to see out the game.
Well, what was going wrong for England in the first half? Because it just looked like, we have to give Italy credit, right? I think defensively they were good. They shut Lauren James out of most of the game. Her getting touches, wasn't able to really get high up besides that one opportunity late in the half. But Italy, their goal was brilliant. What broke down for England in the first half from what you guys saw? Kel, we'll go to you first.
It's like, I can't really put my finger on what England isn't getting right during this tournament. The one thing that I know they're getting right is the grit and the perseverance. Like, they're just battling through games and hanging on. There's nothing that England's doing that's exceptionally well, in my opinion, which is why I feel like that's why I was kind of shifted over to be an Italy fan and was excited for them, because England's like, they're showing up, they're playing and they're battling through, but I don't really think that they're like nailing any specific game plan. And if they are, I can't tell what it is, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I can't either. And it seemed that, to me, it seems like teams have figured out how to break them down. It's those quick transitions. It's the combination play wide, send across in. But I'm waiting for Serena Wegman to change something, which tees me up perfectly for my next question. I want to start a damn petition that Michelle Agyemang and Chloe Kelly should start a match. Why on earth, after the last game, are they not getting more minutes?
Every England fan should be sending flowers, chocolates, fish and chips to those two. They are the dynamic
Bandos
that have kept this. They've kept this team in this tournament. Like, if it wasn't for those two, they'd be out.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. So I think that is the biggest question going into the final for Serena is like, who do you start?
Yeah,
Laura,
I mean,
you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think these are always tough questions because I am a huge fan of Agyemang in particular, right? But I think these are always the tough questions because we have seen this from Wiegman dating back to 2022 when she never changed the lineup. Now she doesn't want to change the lineup. This is nothing new. And in fact, like I personally just think she's left some of the substitutions till late. But like, I mean, the argument is, it's like, okay, she's starting these players and then she's bringing them on at the right time to like get the job done. Now, yes, if you start them and they score early and then go ahead, then you don't have to like worry about bringing them on. But here's the thing I think about England, and I appreciate them. I love their experience. I really enjoy a lot of those players individually. I just don't think they really have a plan B. I think they are what they are. And their first look is they want to play wide. And the left side looks a little bit different than the right side because you have more nuance with Lauren James when she plays out wide. Her and Bronze will combine, and then Hemp's going to take players on as direct. But that is always wants to be their first look. And teams have just taken away the midfield and made it really predictable for themselves. France did in the first game. Sweden did it in the quarterfinals. Italy did it today. And it's like there's not a plan B. And so it's not until those game changers, the substitutes come on, and they are getting, but listen, we all know in these tournaments, sometimes in this game specifically, like at some point in time, I'm like, I'm not going to talk about tactics. That's not what it's about, right? You're just freaking doing whatever you can to dig deep and like serve good balls in, give yourself a chance, fight for, and they've gotten that right. And that's sometimes what tournament play is all about. And that comes from experience and getting things right in previous years and the littlest moments for Italy. But I think, unfortunately, as a whole, this Italy team is way too predictable, and there really isn't, outside of everybody just elevating their play and then bringing on substitutes, there isn't a nuance to their game on how they can break teams down, like we see with Italy, being able to change their formations, play wide areas, overload the wide channels, and then create that way. You're just not going to see that from England.
Somebody in the chat said if they don't start, why not bring them in earlier? And I was texting with BJ during the game, and I was like, it's almost like Serena's like, I can't, or Chloe Kelly has like as like on her instruction manual, it's like can only perform in a very condensed period of time, but will turn,
high pressure.
You know, like like it's like you can't let her have that much time, or she might not be as effective. Like I don't know. It's like the weirdest thing.
It kills me because I feel like she's trying to make fetch happen and it's not. Let them get more time. At halftime, I was like, there has to be a change.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean, I was actually surprised Hemp stayed on that long. I thought she was very off. Kelley was going to stay. Yeah. Yeah. It's I
don't know. Do you think they're as good if they have more time?
Yeah, I mean, I think give these players some more time, but I do like this conversation because the LOL, we're the ones that are like saying all these things, and Serena Wiegman's like, hey, I'm making all the right decisions. Look at us keep winning.
Final. Yeah,
yeah, come on, we're going to a final, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, say what you want to say.
Honestly, I don't expect any changes too. I'm like, bring that same lineup in.
That was going to be my question. Do you think we'll see the changes? Maybe.
No, absolutely.
You think it's going to be the exact same thing?
I think it's going to be fairly similar. Yeah.
I think it's going to be the exact same lineup. Starting lineup.
Barring any injuries, barring if like Williamson's ankle is worse than maybe we all thought or what, right? But like, yeah. Or Lauren James, because I do think that she might have picked up some sort of niggle or something and couldn't go in a second. Because I actually don't think she would have made that change, Lauren James, either. Given one, that Lauren can at any time create some sort of moment of magic, and that's why, right? Like even if she's being marked out of the game or can't be as impactful, she has that capability where a lot of players don't. So, but
now this first half, Lauren James was the one forward for England that was actually getting on the ball and making dangerous plays, making things happen. Like I don't think I heard you say Russo's name once, Lori, the entire half. So,
no, but I thought that was going to be more of I thought personally that was going to be the bigger matchup, those three center backs versus Russo. But they did a really good job on her. So
yeah, very good job.
Great job. As did the subs. Once again, Michelle Agyemang coming in 90 plus gets the equalizer. I mean, young phenom baller, future of the Lionesses. She's going to be the next one to sign $1 million contracts. I absolutely love it. And then of course, Chloe Kelly steps up, controversial penalty. And we actually got some behind the scenes info from our rules expert, Christina Unkel, sent us her opinion on this. If it's not a preferred penalty decision to be given, there is a holding by both with more from the Italian player, which is why it's not clear and obvious error for VAR to intervene, but it's not a decision preferred for penalty. This is expected to not be called and not in line with her line of foul discrimination. Lori,
So
do you feel good that you got that right?
Yeah, I'm now becoming more pissed. For these Italian players. Like I just feel incredibly upset because I mean this is also what we heard from Mark Clattenburg as well. He came on and was like, "Listen, this is not something that I would call in this game at this moment." And yeah, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. And also, we've all been there in these heartbreaking moments when things don't go your way. And you know what? Listen, I mean, I'm going to say this again because I said it in game. I do feel like this is a huge learning point, and this is the smallest little things that separate teams because England has experience. They have won the rhythm of what it takes to go throughout all of these 7 matches to get to a final, winning, then the heartbreak of losing to Spain in 2023. But that in itself goes so far. And then also just seeing out individual games. And that was a little bit of my question for Italy because even in a few previous, not necessarily in the Norway game, but it was against Portugal in their second group play game. They were trying to show a little bit of gamesmanship and trying to close out that game. They end up conceding to Portugal. They tied 1-1. And so I was worried about how their approach was in these moments. And there was an opportunity that I think they're going to look back and wish they had done differently. Olivero has that opportunity, still running. Take it to the corner flag or play your teammates. Instead, she tries to go for gold, sends it over the crossbar, gives it right back to England. And that entire play is what set up them going back down and attacking and scoring that tying goal. So it's like those things, when it doesn't seem that much in the run of play, come back and get you. And you're already in the extra time, the additional time, go to the corner flag, draw fouls, keep it as far away from your own goal. And I'm like, yo, Oliviero, what have you done? And then, then you're fighting for your life and you've defended and you get a penalty called against you. So I hate to say it's so unfortunate.
I'm so sad for them.
I know. I was holding my heart when the penalty happened. The disbelief was so sad, but shout out to producer Mark. He did an audience poll. Was that a penalty? 58% said no. 41% said yes out of 129 people. Shout out to everybody that voted. But looking ahead, like you said, Lori, this is a team that has done this before. They know the cadence of a tournament. They're smarter, more intelligent in those game management moments just because they've been there, done that. On the other side of the table, they're also going to face 2 big dogs in the tournament that have been here, done this numerous times, Germany and Spain. Kel, I'm going to come to you first. Do you think England has what it takes to knock one of them out, especially after coming off of 2 games, going into extra time, 1 going to pens? It's a little more on your legs. We have question marks about Serena Wegman and her subbing. She's probably going to rock with it. Do you think they have enough in the tank to do it?
Here's the thing. They just had to play, like you said, 2 120-minute games. And that is really freaking hard. And at the end of the Sweden game, those girls were hanging on by their fingernails trying to stay in that game. They were so beat up. There were so many of them. Like Lucy Bronze is taping her own quad. Like Hampton has a tampon in her nose. Like it's just there was. I was like, are they going to make it with 11 players on the field?
That needs to be a Halloween costume first of all. Somebody with tampons.
I feel like we got absolutely rocked by Sweden, but they held on. They won in PKs, and then to come again and have to play another 120 minutes. The minutes add up, the load adds up. So to then potentially have to face a Spain who, depending on what happens tomorrow, hasn't gone into extra time, probably pretty fresh. Like they've had they've kind of cruised through the tournament. They don't want to see Spain. That's Germany.
No one does.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody does. Germany, there's a chance that they had to play with 10 players for 107 minutes in their quarterfinal match. They're about to have to face Spain. Exactly. I know. Like. These teams, I mean, they're cooked by the end, but it's about who can hold on. So the reality is, has the load built up? Are they exhausted? Yes. Is it one more game? Is it one more like opportunity? Like all you have to do is fight through one more game. Do I think that England, the team that we've seen for these past 2 games, has that in them? 100%. Like what I know about England, I don't know exactly what they're trying to do or their tactics or anything like that, but I know that they can freaking pull through and grind through a game and win whatever it takes. So there's a chance.
Yeah,
Lori,
I mean,
with all that, you agree?
yeah, I
Even
agree.
with all the battle wounds?
At this point in time, it's like last game, you're going for it. You're just leaving it all on the line. And that's where the experience comes, right? I think depending on who gets through for Germany, and I mean, Germany's sort of in the same boat. You've got defenders going down left and right. Newskin's going to be out for tomorrow. She's one of the ones that I think 3 players have scored for them. So we'll see what happens in that game. But Spain, they've gotten through this tournament pretty easily. So they're going to be fresh regardless if they make through tomorrow. Listen, Matt, if that's the case, then it's a rematch of the 2023 and bring it on.
Dude, that'll be a match if we get it.
Yeah, get your popcorn. Well, who's better matchup for England? Who gives them a better chance of bringing it home again?
Germany.
Oh, Germany. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because if you're Spain, then you're looking at that and you're like, we're going to pass the hell out of this ball and just like make them work. And I wouldn't say it's been the best defensive performance by any means from England. So I don't know if they were going to be wanting to chase the Spain players all around the entire time either. So,
yeah, definitely not.
No, this is true. Well, wrapping up the England chat, we're going to take a quick break and come back to dissect a little bit more on this Italian national team and especially their coach, since it's his first time coaching a women's club. So stay with us. We'll be back after this quick break. Welcome back to Attacking Third. That was a fun commercial. Okay, NWSL, let's go.
Back here. I was like, can they see me? Probably not.
Yeah. Let's talk about Italy. We mentioned them a little bit before, just about where you especially said the game management. That's what England had over them. It's that experience, that depth on the bench. But what's maybe, Lori, especially from your perspective, because you've had such an inside scoop and detailed overview of this team because you've been calling games, what's maybe the biggest positive Italy can take away from this Euros? Because I still think even though they went out today, it's a win in a way looking forward for this national team.
I think you have a team that has a high level of sophistication, incredible like individual talent, and you've only had a pro league for 3 years, or that's been fully pro for 3 years. They have one player that plays outside of that. Well, now Sofia Cantore, who's coming to the Washington Spirit, but outside that, Caruso's the only one that plays. She plays at Bayern Munich. So everybody else is playing within that domestic league in Italy. So I think that one speaks to what they have going on in the high level that they have in Italy. But also just, I think what Soncin has done for this team is like they have so many ways that they could have showed up. And that's part of the challenge against the teams that they've faced in this tournament, is that you have to prepare for a lot of different realities against Italy. And I think as they just continue, like, okay, for instance, I'm looking at Salvi, right? I think she was one of the best center backs in this league. The only thing that maybe would separate her from being one of the best in the world is that elite level athleticism. So there's still like a little bit of gaps there in terms of making up for in their pro league, helping that and just continue to build depth within their entire national team. But I would just say overall the sophistication to be able to float in and out of different formations and a real like understanding of how to do that across the board.
Kel, looking at this side, I think a big question mark for a lot of people, myself included, was the depth on this side. But we were talking before the match, you were bummed that Severini wasn't in the starting lineup for Italy. Do you think that maybe their bench is underrated, or is it a fair assessment that they need more depth on this Italian side, especially looking late in matches like this?
Yeah, I think it's maybe not. I mean, could you say depth from a perspective of like skill, talent? No, maybe experience, kind of like what Lori's saying. Yes, because, you know, they only have now going to be two players playing outside of the Italian league. But yeah, like I was in the chat while we were watching the game, and I was saying I really wanted to see Severini play, or I was bummed she wasn't starting because I feel like she had a fantastic match against Norway. I think she was a difference maker.
I agree with that. Her and Caruso were exceptional. I thought they could have really caused issues against Walsh today, which they didn't necessarily take advantage of.
Yeah, because she was running off of Garelli a lot, and just I liked the way that she found little pockets and made little back shoulder runs and broke lines. So no, I do. I think their bench. I mean, I guess if people were saying their bench is underrated, or what underrated,
like they don't know. I'm saying I think their bench has been underrated, but most people have said they don't have enough depth on their team to win this tournament.
Oh no, I would agree with you, Darian. I think that's an underrated bench. They have different players. Like Piemonte, very different than Girelli coming in, and you see why they would have brought her on late in the game to hold up play. And
exactly.
I never really thought that they didn't have depth.
Yeah, I again like loved watching this team play. I'm very sad that their tournament is over because it was a joy to watch them play. Like I really I became an Italian fan. So yeah, big fan.
Me too. Me too. Stole my heart. The Swiss and the Italians. Looking at Soncin though, his first time coaching in a major tournament, coaching a women's team, not that much run-up time. How do we rate his ability to lead this team to a semifinal? I mean, let's say on a 1 to 10 scale, Kel, what would you rate him?
I mean, I'd give him a 10 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10 because he didn't make it to the final. But like this guy,
knocked one off.
I mean, the fact that he hasn't ever coached a side of this level at a tournament of this nature, and to come in, and to me, I think that Italy was one of the most well-rounded teams when it came to like on-field performance. I think that they looked like they were all on the same page. They clearly understood what their tactical strategy was going into each game. It changed from game to game, and that's really difficult to do as a national team coach. Like you don't see a lot of national teams able to have that flexibility tactically and change different formations. I mean, some you do, but I've played for national team coaches that are like, this is our formation and this is what we're playing and we're not changing it, you know? So for him to be able to come in and coach these players in a way that allowed them and gave them the confidence to be able to execute multiple different tactical ideas, formations, fantastic job by him.
Yeah, give him his flowers, Laura.
Yeah, I completely agree. I really enjoyed this. And they were even, I think it was Girelli that was talking in maybe the presser yesterday before the game about how much they've had respected him. They've enjoyed his knowledge. And he does feel like, if I remember his story correctly, he has been kind of like a journeyman coach. He's coached in a lot of different realms, but just not in the women's game. And I think it showed that he obviously has picked up a lot of different ideas from his different coaching experience, which I think has been valuable coming into this tournament. But yeah, I mean, Girelli in particular and the other players that spoke had I think Cantore as well, loads of positive things to say about him and how he's unified the team in such a short amount of time as well.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to seeing the evolution of this team in years to come, because I think that they're going to be one of those underrated teams still that it's unexpected on what they're going to do because they've proven they have so much flexibility in their squad. So I absolutely love it. Shout out to the women's national team for Italy. Our hearts are with you. That was tough, but we are going to preview Germany and Spain coming up next because that is tomorrow. Lori, are you on this call as well?
Yeah. This one in the final.
Probably going to penalties.
Yeah. Okay. Block off 4 hours, everybody. Not 90 minutes.
But we are going to preview that next. So stay with us. We will be right back after this quick break. Welcome back into Attacking Third, everybody. All right. Talk of the town, Spain versus Germany. We touched on both of these teams a little bit before, but looking at this, just their performances throughout the tournament, healthy players, their journey to get to the semifinal, Spain offense versus Germany defense. Who do you guys think has the upper hand in this matchup? Kelley, you first.
I mean, I gotta go with Spain. Just because.
Why'd you sound so sad?
Well, I'm not. I don't know why. It's like I don't care who wins any of these games. Like I don't know why I feel a weird way. Maybe because I would like to see Germany win because I love Ann-Katrin Berger. Like my favorite players ever to play with and to watch. So maybe that's why. Like, and I haven't just realized that yet, and I'm realizing it in the moment. But I do think that Spain probably has the upper hand here.
Yeah, I know that you two had England winning it, but I've had Spain winning it. And I think the reason why maybe we feel a little bit sad because it feels predictable. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do think it's Spain's to lose. However, I don't think that they're without vulnerabilities, especially counterattack. I mean, we've known that they commit players forward, but they will wear this Germany team down one way or another, and they'll pose a different dilemma, I think, than we saw with France. Even them being up a player, it was just too pragmatic from France, in my opinion, in that game, and it played right into Germany's hands. And now they're going to have to deal with overloads. You're down a couple players with suspension. The Hendrick, who went out with a red card in the last game, Nuskin with another yellow card. So those are two important players after you've already had two other players go out of the tournament. So actually they should get one back. There's so many games. So they should at least get one of their players back on that back line, but who knows? But yeah, I think if Spain comes and plays their game, they should take this game.
Yeah, I also
but
agree.
I am with you.
I want it to be more of a fight.
One of the best things I've ever seen in the world, regardless.
Oh yeah.
From Berger.
Let's give Berger her flowers because Kel, you said it earlier. You want them to win because you played with her. You guys are teammates, friends, incredible athlete, leader, incredible person, incredible journey. Just listen to this. So in case you didn't know, her qualifier performance was incredible. She had this amazing save, but a lot of people don't know the backstory of Ann-Katrin Berger. Look at her flying in the air. 2017, she was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. 2022, she was diagnosed with cancer again and beat it a second time. 2024, Olympic bronze medalist. 2024, NWSL goalkeeper of the year. And in 2025, this standout performance against France to send Germany to the semifinals against Spain. Led this team, absolute stellar person, athlete. Kel, I want to know what about her, because you've been teammates with her, friends with her, you've spent time with her, makes her so special.
Oh my God, let me count the ways. Honestly, it's because she's so chill.
She gives that.
She's so cool. Like and then the way that she carries herself on the field is that as well. Like she, as a keeper, she's just calm, cool, collected, but so good, not only with her hands and her shot stopping, but her feet. Like she is just the most well-rounded keeper, I think, or one of the most well-rounded keepers in the world, in my opinion, that I've ever watched and or played with. So she just gives it, she adds another element to any team she plays on with her ability with her feet. She basically can play as a fifth on a back line of 4 or a 6 on a back line of 5. She just is a very, very good player and an amazing person. So you want to cheer for her and you love her. And yeah, I mean, like the performance against France, it's out of this world. It's crazy. But I've seen her do that stuff before. Like that's just who she is.
It's so funny too, because I feel like keepers, most of them are crazy. Like to be a goalkeeper, you have to be a certain type of crazy, and they're not even kill. At least from my playing experience. And most keepers, I have like 4 best friends are keepers that I played with, so I feel okay about saying this. They know I love them, but to hear she's actually how she presents of just like steady, chill is
chill. So just the best. Love her.
I also just appreciate her journey. I mean, we know this about a lot of outside of the things that you mentioned, Darian, but like also she's had to wait for so long to buy her time to be the starting keeper for Germany. And again, that's not unusual for a keeper given just the position, and you don't always get the playing time and experience, but yeah, incredible. And also I just like outside of national team and what she's done, I personally think she just has elevated NWSL in so many different ways, not only just the goalkeeping position, but the way that teams have to play against Gotham, the way that teams are setting up. Okay, how can we use our goalkeepers? I think that she stepped in last year and forced everybody to take a look at like, okay, how are we setting up? How are we using our goalkeepers? And yeah, credit to her because she's been exceptional for both club and country.
Absolutely exceptional. To me, key for the game tomorrow to keep Germany in this match.
Yeah.
But who are both of your key players, either for Spain or Germany, to bring home? Well, not bring home anything, to get to the final tomorrow. Kel, you first. Who are you looking at?
Again, I'm gonna say AKB, Ann-Katrin. Like she is, the last line of defense, and against a Spain team that is extremely potent in their attack, she's going to have another incredible performance, and I have no doubt that she will. So I think that Germany is going to rely on her heavily. And then, Lori, what do you think for Spain?
Yeah, I would say maybe two. I think if Astaire starts, her movement always, and much like, very different than Russo, but much like we have talked about Russo, because I do think the way that Astaire moves, she creates space for others. But then she also is still a threat, obviously, within the box, but she can also stretch teams too. So if they are going to attempt to come out of their defensive shape and attack, then Astaire, we know, can also, with the timing of her runs, get in behind. But it's Astaire, and then I also say their defensive midfielder, O'Hara. I think one thing that we've seen about the opposition against her is that actually teams are just sitting on her and taking her away. And they're forcing her to move out wide and get on the ball in different ways, because if you take her out of the play, she's the one that starts every attack. It's more difficult for then the rotations to find Bonmati, Putellas. And so I'll just be curious to see how Germany's set up against O'Hara. Do they let her on the ball easily, or do they take that away and then force the play to be a bit more predictable because she's not able to just like set play and do what she wants?
If it's Astaire, it's Astaire versus Ann-Katrin Berger, so it's going to be Gotham on Gotham crime, potentially.
Gotham on Gotham crime. Let's go. Who has the upper hand in that? You two knowing Gotham well.
Ooh, I don't know, actually. What do you think, Darian?
I don't know, Kelley, what do you mean me? You've got the inside scoop. You train with these people day in, day out.
I know. I mean, honestly, like whoever shows up better prepared on the day, like whoever has a better day, because they both are such elite players.
Yeah,
it'll be fun to watch.
I think it's all mentality, like around the team of who both of them are leaders, and I think that's really what's going to come up. But producer Mark put a poll into the chat, asked who wins. 68% of you said Spain, 32% said Germany. I do think it's going to be a close game, though. I do think it's going to be a close game. But we have a special guest coming in just a little late, but Christina Unkel is joining us to talk about that controversial foul that led to the penalty. First of all, Unkel, where are you in the world right now? There's a giant flamingo over your shoulder. I don't know if you know this.
What? I was supposed to sneak off. I just landed. So watch the game on the plane coming back from Chicago, and they're like, "Can you jump on?" I'm like, "I'll go find a quiet place." And nope, her name's Phoebe. She's the Tampa airport icon. I'm pretty sure Phoebe will give you guys some shouts out. She's world famous. Figured let's not go anyplace quiet. Let's just get you guys a good backdrop. So here we go.
This is incredible.
So what does Phoebe think about the PK?
Phoebe, as you can see based on her face, is it happy?
Yes. Yes.
Is Lori, you hit it like words straight on. I know we talk a lot about these kinds of plays, etc., but like as soon as I saw that play happen and I just saw the referee's body language, I was like, damn it, she's gonna call it. And this isn't a call we want from a refereeing standpoint, period, right? Upper body handlings, pulling in the box when the ball's being distributed are one of the most difficult calls for a referee because both are doing it, right? At times you also got the where's the ball dropping? Is it within zone? Is it actually impacting need to get to that ball? And the question people are going to have and I've seen is like, well, then why didn't VAR get intervened if the preferred decision is not to call it? And it's because the upper body pulling, shoving left and right, unless there's clear video that needs not touching the Italian player whatsoever, VAR can't get involved in this decision. But I can tell you that the majority of referees would not want this decision. Preferred decision would not be it. But because there is that tussle back and forth, VAR doesn't get involved in these. But we don't want these as referees. I'm guessing you guys don't want these as players.
Yeah, I'm just curious about like what you think, because the point that I made was she let a lot of physicality happen in this game, and it never felt like it got out of hand or anything. She spoke with the players early on, very rarely gave out a yellow card. Actually, it wasn't until Giuliani, I think, was the first yellow card that she gave for time wasting. So, and then Soncin, I think, for arguing, the head coach for Italy, to argue that point, he got a yellow card. But outside of that, it wasn't until this call that I felt like anything seemed out of the ordinary. And then after that penalty kick, gave Beth Mead a yellow card that seemed completely unnecessary and out of sorts. So I don't know if that was a makeup call or she was like, shit, what have I done? But yeah, just like, to me in that moment, it felt very strange given how she had reffed the game as well.
I mean, we watched it, that moment, you could just feel the energy when you're watching the game. So you guys played those moments, the energies here and beyond. And that's what we talk about. Like, people can be good referees, but what makes the difference between a good and a great referee is those who can handle that pressure, that stress, who have the ability to just have that deep breath when you have a play like this and maybe not let that adrenaline rush pull you into it. And I honestly think that's what the adrenaline rush did, because I'm with you. Like, her foul discrimination, her decisions, even her mannerisms in managing a player, right? They're pretty aggressive, in my opinion. Like, kind of like a little bit different in how we approach refs, but everyone's a little bit different. I felt like the moment of that game took over that referee, and that's, if I was doing write-up and an assessment, what I would say was more of a psychological decision than it was necessarily, really seeing and feeling it.
Well, I'm looking at Phoebe. Does Phoebe think this comes down to, I think something that's very underspoken about regarding referees is the fatigue. Referees are running more than some players on the pitch. Do you think that was a big factor in that decision in that moment?
I mean, yeah, there's plenty of sports science out there, right? The further you go through the game, regardless of how you're prepared, UEFA officials are probably one of the fittest referees worldwide in the different confederations. And the reason being is that they actually have investment on the referee side for their referees, men and women. UEFA's done probably the best, as I think we could probably, even with all due respect to CONCACAF, they do better in UEFA in the qualifications, the fitness testing, the expectations and standards. Many of these women have to pass the men's FIFA fitness test by their country associations alone, so they're eligible for potentially men's tournaments as well, because that fitness requirement is at a higher level. The women's requirement, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, right? They keep increasing. I know Lori and I talked the other day about the beep test, but like, some of this stuff is a little bit crazy because it's not really, reflecting the yo-yo dynamic of a game. So yeah, fitness goes into that. This one's fit. I know she's fit. But you're hitting into 2 minutes on that. It's one of your final decisions of the game. Mental fatigue is the real thing. But many of them do train, and they don't play as many games or they don't referee as many games as the players. A little bit more intentional, especially when we talk about semifinals. She had off, I can't remember what her last game was out of the group stages. So there's a lot of time to physically load up, and I'm pretty sure that UEFA, they do the same thing, right? They peak us before we have our match days, right? You're being basically set in so that your physical standard will hit at the time it needs to hit.
Hold on. I feel like you need a mini mic, and you need to be polling people in the airport, being like, what do they think about this foul?
But no, everybody has to come next to Phoebe. It has to go under Phoebe's feet.
Behind you, I'm like, turn around and be like, what do you think about this penalty kick?
What do you think about this, feet? Like that, right? Like,
oh,
I did love it because I was watching the game on my phone, and there was this girl next to me, this young girl. She's probably about 9-10 years old. And she was watching Barbie the movie, and I could just tell her head kept turning and watching my phone the whole time. And I kind of wanted to just put my phone in front of her, and I'm like, I love this. I love it. Right? She gave up on Barbie and she started watching the game. I'm like, that's what it's about.
Oh, this is so awesome. I love those stories. Uncle, we love you. Thank you so much for coming in, and thank you for bringing Phoebe. I think she kind of stole the show today. So I hope we get to see her again in the future when you're on.
She usually does. Go to TPA's social media. You'll see. She takes over it all every single time.
Okay, we're gonna do that. Next time, our fourth screen is gonna just have Phoebe just stalled in the airport. So stay tuned for that. But everybody, don't go anywhere. We are discussing Denver's new name and crest next. They dropped that on us today. So stick with us after this quick break. What up, everybody? Welcome back to Attacking Third. Lori, Lindsey, Kelley O'Hara, Darian Jenkins here. Last but not least, we've got to talk about Denver, name and crest. Producer Mark, let's throw up an image of this and let me talk about their explanation of this crest. Denver Summit SC. Red sky. The warm red sky captures the dramatic sunset seen across Denver. The sun. Colorado locals often say that the stage gets 300 days of sunshine each year. Mountains. The mountains are a central part of life in Colorado. The peak is angled at 26 degrees as a reference to the club's inaugural season. They really went at it with these names. The name was the overwhelming favorite during the club's fan-led naming process. It suggests aspiration, unity, and elevation. Okay. Initial thoughts when we saw this, ladies. Were you impressed or were you underwhelmed? Let's give us your thoughts. Kelley, I feel like you're waiting to just throw it at us.
No,
I can't wait to hear
no,
it.
I don't mind it actually. Like I kind of wanted like Denver Black Diamonds or like Denver Altitude or like something funky like that. But Denver Summit FC, the Summit FC is like fine. Summit FC is fine. I think the crest, I actually really like the crest. I like the colors. I like the tonalness of it. I think that they did a good job, actually. And to be honest, when I first looked at it, all I saw was the name, and I didn't really think about it. But now seeing it again, played back, I really like the colors because we haven't seen this like color scheme in the league yet. And then I really appreciate the 26 degrees as a reference to the club specific. I'm like, the people who sit in a room and come up with this, they're like, we're going to put the mountains at 26 degrees. Like, this is it. We've nailed it. But I love it. Like, it's go Denver.
It's actually giving me Kelley O'Hara-esque vibes. I don't know. You're very mountainy. You're like outdoorsy. I'm just like getting those vibes from you. So I like your shout about like Denver Altitude or something like Black Diamonds. Okay. But no, I'm into it. I think it's crisp. Immediately when I saw it this morning upon waking up, who knows? Wow, I've said so many words today. I was like, all right. I enjoy it. I want something. I want some sort of apparel that has that on there. Like I would totally wear that. So, yeah, kudos to them.
Yeah, I liked it. The explanation made me laugh. I won't lie. I was like, wow, this is so specific and so like marketing. But I really like the colors. I think it vibes. It's different from anything we've seen in the NWSL. And I'm not gonna lie, after Boston, my expectations were low. So I think anything they came out with, it was gonna be a round of applause. And like you guys said, I'm excited for the merch. I saw Jordan Angeli, shout out to her. She's helped get this over the line. She's been promoting the crap out of Denver Summit FC. Let me get that right. And has just been leading this, former players, making change, expansion teams. I love it. But she posted herself in like a cute little cutoff tee. And I'm like, A3 needs some of those. So Jordan, if you're listening,
swipe up to buy.
Hook us up, girl. But unless we have other thoughts, everybody, that was our show. This was so fun, a really good game. Lori, thank you so much for hopping on with us once again. I hope tomorrow doesn't go as long. I hope you get just a 95, 96.
Get one game tomorrow, one game.
Okay, good. Kelley, A3 debut, remote. I love this. Hey. I can't wait. You're going to be on a couple more shows with us throughout the Euros. And everybody, don't forget, Attacking Third is back tomorrow, July 23rd, after the Germany-Spain semifinal, right here on YouTube. Sandra Herrera, Jen Beatty, Jess McDonald, and our girl Kelley O'Hara up there are going to be here to recap the match and preview the final matchup. Don't forget also, go vote Attacking Third for Best Female Hosted Podcast. Tell everybody about it. You don't want to miss it. We appreciate your vote so much. Thank you all for staying with us. From Kelley, Lori, producer Mark, Adriana, Mike Nastri, I'm Darian Jenkins. This was Attacking Third.